Mm.
All right, we are live. I'm going to give a few minutes or a few seconds to let people jump on, and once I start seeing people have joined in, we'll dive in. So, if y'all want to share it, please feel free to do so.
Gotcha.
Alrighty. Make it public. I'll be hiding from
Yep, we're making it public.
people.
Get this one going. All right, dropping the intro. All right, welcome to another episode of Fuel of Crutch Podcast. Let's talk about it. This is season 2, episode 5, and we got two special guests, Junior Coleman and Kaylon Jones, and I'm gonna allow them to go ahead and introduce themselves.
You can go first.
Ladies first. Ladies
Oh.
first.
Okay. Hi, my name is Kaylon Jones. I am the owner of Beauty Assassin Cosmetics as well as Kanji Enterprise Travel Agency, and currently a med student at Kansas City University.
Hey everyone, I am Junior Coleman. I'm partner and financial advisor in wealth management at West Point Financial Group here in Middleton, Wisconsin. Also doing some destination travel with Jamaica Airbnb, which will be coming up soon in January of 2023.
All right. So yes, this podcast today we're gonna focus on entrepreneurship. I have a strong interest in this area just because there's so many of us that work hard and slave for somebody else. And I feel like, we owe it to ourselves to feed into our gifts and give back and give in a different way. And sometimes it's just sharing our stories and our struggles, ups and downs. And so, this was our opportunity to do it, but also an opportunity to promote what we're doing and see who's interested in jumping on board as well. So I always like to start out with icebreakers. So let me hear it. Starting with Kaylon, what is your favorite movie?
Oh, you just came out with that one. I'm gonna have to say I'm still a Stomp the Yard fan. I'm sorry, I'll never get over it. I'm
That's
also
real.
Chris Brown, so we're gonna keep that where it's at, even though he died in the first 2 minutes. But yeah, Stomp the
I was
Yard.
about to say he wasn't even in there that long.
It was his first movie, so definitely support it.
Real. Junior.
Yes, sir. So same question. What's my favorite movie?
Yes, sir.
That is a really good question. I must say that one of my all-time favorites is Inside Man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So good movie.
And then go ahead.
It's a good movie.
Inside Man. Who was in it? Was that Denzel?
No, I can't remember his name, but they basically was robbing a bank, and it was just a major plot twist of how he got away with it and then walked out the front door from the interrogators.
Oh no, I did see that. Yeah, that was dope.
I was like the movie that had a little bit of twist at the end, just on how you were following along, but it was not quite as storyline as you thought.
Going backwards order, Junior, you first. Favorite cereal?
Captain Crunch. Easily. Easily.
Nah.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely wouldn't have picked that one, but go for that.
Me neither.
Each his own.
I wasn't. I'm definitely a Cinnamon Toast Crunch kind of girl for sure. And you got to get like the vanilla almond milk, and I swear to God, it's so good.
Oh Lord.
That was different and bougie all in one.
Right.
No, vanilla almond milk makes cereal taste so much better.
With almond milk, I don't know.
Because it's like vanilla flavor, so it's like sweet milk, so it's kind of.
But it's gonna be sweet once you had a Cinnamon Toast Crunch in there.
Yeah, but I'm like a sugar person, so I need a little extra.
That's Dr. Jones, man. She's watching diabetes,
It's almond milk. It's healthy.
Fair. All right. To add a little controversy to this one,
Okay.
Black Panther 1 or 2?
One.
Kaylon, you first.
Okay. Movie wise, like storyline of the movie, definitely 1. But I'm gonna say 2 is my favorite right now because I really liked how they did the tribute. Like I was really in there crying, and I don't cry in movies. So for me, it was more so like the paying homage that really got me with 2. And I also did like the story plot of like Mayans and going back to slavery and tying them together, and just kind of like I like that storyline. So I think 2 for me, but 1 definitely was like a better movie. So
I
I'm
have to
confused.
definitely go with 1 for sure. For me, it was just more so the originality of having Chadwick in there. I haven't seen number 2 yet, but I'm scheduled to see it coming up very soon. So then maybe my bias might change, but I'm always a big fan of Chadwick and how his acting was. So I just love the first one.
Yeah.
That was tough. Marquand Hudson said his favorite is Law Abiding Citizen.
That's a
Okay.
tough one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. Whew. Oh man. I like Black Panther 1 and 2. I still
That's what
would
I'm saying.
prefer.
It was hard.
It was real hard, and I got asked that question today. And I would honestly say that I'm gonna go with 1 as better, and I
Mhm.
liked it, but 2 was different. And what you said, Kaylon, was super dope with the way that they did the Mayans. And
Yeah.
I'm a history guy, so my undergrad was in history, and so seeing how they made it seem like they tied history and fantasy together as
Exactly.
how this is what happened to them. I was like, they really snapped with that one. So yeah, that one was tough. I'm not gonna go in anymore because Junior don't know, but
Yeah, don't
it's a
spoil it for
piece
me. Not yet.
I'm gonna spoil it, but it's
It was
definitely a
a
piece.
plot twist at the end, though. Did you wait after the credits? Did you see the plot twist at the
Yeah, you
end?
gotta stay for them. You gotta stay and watch.
No,
So
people
yeah,
be leaving. People don't know.
yes, yeah, they don't understand.
If you're a true Marvel follower, you always know to stay past the credits. There's always a little
Right,
tease.
right. You can tell when you sitting in the movie theater and they don't know because they didn't got up, walked out, and then you see the
Yeah.
other 13 people still sitting there
Yeah.
like, I ain't moving. So cool. Last icebreaker. Favorite animal?
Ooh, a snow leopard.
Lion.
Can't go wrong either way. Except
No,
snow leopard. That would just not just the leopard. Not you had to go specific.
they look better, and they're like in the. Yeah, I like snow leopards. They're cool.
Cool. So, all right. Marquand also said 1 over 2. Panther 2 was more about agenda.
I guess.
So I want to because I know you guys have done amazing things. One with going to school, Junior with some of the different stuff that you're doing as well. I want to know what are your thoughts or what is your plans as far as like giving back?
Mm-hmm.
Like what if you have already given back, what and what way? And if you haven't, what plans do you have for that?
Mm-hmm. I guess I can start off. For me, my biggest goal with being a doctor is to eventually open my own trauma center in a city like Chicago. And the biggest reason being is that like so many people die in the city of Chicago just because a lot of hospitals close down their trauma centers to people of color who have suffered from like gunshot wounds and stuff like that because it costs more money to treat them than it does to like profit from a trauma center. And because of that, mortality rates from fatal shootings 9 times out of 10 are because they can't get to a hospital close enough because you're in an ambulance driving 45 minutes away to the nearest trauma center. So for me personally, I feel like putting a price on somebody's life is ridiculous. So my goal is to open a nonprofit trauma center in a major city like Chicago. But as far as like what I do right now is just try to spread the knowledge that I have to the next generation. So I'm really big on like pushing HBCU agendas because I think that's the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm super big on helping kids apply to college, teaching kids that like scholarships are there, the money is there, you just got to find it. Because to somebody that's never been to college before, hearing $40,000 for tuition seems unreasonable, but there's so many ways. So for me, it's just pushing higher education and teaching people the things I wish I would have known.
And Junior, before you jump in, Kaylon, can you please tell people how far we go back and how and the different aspects of that?
Yeah, let's talk about that. So back in the day, I used to get in trouble all the time. And like it was so bad. You wouldn't, if you knew me in middle school, you would never thought I would be the person I am today. Because I just was a little kid with a smart mouth who felt like because I was smart, couldn't nobody say nothing to me. So I used to get in a lot of trouble. And Jamal used to always tell me, stay out of trouble. Make sure you stay out of trouble. We used to be at the Boys and Girls Club, and he always be getting on my nerves, telling me I got to stay out of trouble, not to go with people, be careful who I run with, and stuff like that. But honestly, if it wasn't for him and people like him, I would have never been the person I am today. So I really just appreciate it. And it's nice to come 360 full circle to being the kid that got in trouble to the kid that's, out here helping other people.
And then also just going off of what you said as far as like pushing the initiative of HBCUs. I would like to find what was the reason you picked the one that you went to.
Yeah, I really want to
rep it though. You gotta rep it.
The truth. Okay, so both my parents went to Tennessee State, and I actually was in BSU at La Follette, and we went to Hampton on our HBCU college tour. And when we got there, it was Kappa Week, and the Kappas was in there shimmying, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm coming here! I'm coming here!" So like. To be honest, my reason for going to Hampton was that I went during like Kappa Week and I just seen it. And also on Wednesdays at Hampton, everybody wears a suit. So like, or like they dress up. So I came there, we were there on a Wednesday and everybody was just dressed up. And I had never seen so many Black people dressed professionally. Everybody was super nice. Everybody was super friendly. And Hampton's small. And I mean, it's the illustrious Hampton University. It's one of the number one HBCUs in the country. So, I mean, I wasn't going to go to Howard.
Oh, so you're saying you're the real HU. Shots fired. So, the real HU has spoken.
Period. The only HU for.
And then also, so as we're talking about giving back, one of the ways that I wanted to give back was to help people, or students or individuals have just some money to go off to school. Mm-hmm. So like the very first scholarship that was ever given, from something that I was doing, Naya and Kaylon was the first recipients.
Yep. Yes, I was. And I sure used that and got me some books because let me tell you, books are not cheap. I did not know that books could be $300-400 until I got to college because paper is never that expensive. But man, every scholarship mattered, and I really appreciated that because actually that was my first scholarship that I got. So it meant a lot to me, and it kind of gave me that push that I deserve to be here, I belong here, and I can occupy this space and be successful. So I really appreciate you for that.
And to know that you bought it, used it to buy books is huge for me for the simple fact I literally got off of a call for a project, and I was sharing that I didn't understand or know as a first generation college student anything. So I literally graduated undergrad purchasing 4 books because I couldn't afford books, but I didn't know that the refund money that you get for a refund check, I could have used toward buying books at the beginning of the school year. And so I'm like, yo, I finally get this refund check 6 weeks, 8 weeks after school class is going. I'm like, I'm not finna go and waste this money on no books. It's only 4 weeks left in the semester. So, and so it did make me go to class, but like, it's just understanding like the finances that go into it and understanding that there's a way to get ahead as well. But Junior, let's hear from you.
Yeah, so currently working on, so I'm a member of the 100, so working to partner with
Okay.
Floyd Rose on coming up with, looking to call it the Dominate the Day Scholarship here for underprivileged kids. So it's going to be something I'm going to be funding between a $5,000 to $10,000 scholarship, to be able to give back to the students. But with that as well, I've also been working on an idea of coming up with and establishing a foundation that I want to be able to make sure that we concrete that scholarship and foundation each year that's going to give out some money even when I'm gone. So we've been working on.
And Junior, where'd you go to school?
So I went to school at MATC here in Madison.
Cool. So listen, ain't nothing wrong with going to Madison College. And I've been trying to tell students right now too, like, hey, everybody, a lot of these kids want to go to HBCUs or whatever, but once they go off to the college trip and they come back and they're super excited, but then realize like how far away they really are and have to leave. And some of them aren't necessarily mature enough or ready to go that far, or realize that, man, this is pretty expensive. Cool. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with coming to Madison College and doing your 2 years and transferring still to an HBCU now that you've taken advantage and grown as a person and become more mature and ready to handle that, being that far and alone or without, the parentals right there with you. But also there's a lot more scholarship money you can earn proving that you are college ready to handle the rigor going to a school. I had one student I helped get, shout out to Skip. I helped Skip get a tuition-free ride at Alabama A&M.
Okay.
Although I'm a Hornet and went to Alabama State, him getting that opportunity at A&M, you couldn't turn it down. So, taking it back to when you guys were kids, what was your dream career when you were a kid, and is it the same now as what you're doing?
Yeah. You can go first, Junior.
Yeah, no. So my dream career as a kid is I always wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon. From the jump, I always wanted to become a doctor, and that was more tied with some of the things that my brother had went through when he was younger. So he had open heart surgery when he was a young man too, that helped save his life. So for me, I always wanted to be the best doctor possible by being CNA nurse, then going to medical school just to really understand the true handoff of each care. So I always thought I wanted to become a doctor. So now I'm not a doctor. I transitioned into wealth management, where I'm now a financial advisor. So and I wouldn't look back. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I always wanted to be a doctor. My little sister has spina bifida, so I grew up watching her have surgery after surgery after surgery. And I think one of the biggest things for me and wanting to be a doctor is like, when I was in Nashville, when we lived in Nashville, the doctors there told my mom to terminate her pregnancy because my sister would never make it. And when we moved to Madison, which had a spina bifida clinic, they were just like, we can't make any promises, but what we can do is tell you that we're going to fight every single day as hard as we can to get the answers, to get solutions, to keep her here. And if it wasn't for them and that mindset, my little sister wouldn't be here right now. So I guess for me, it's always been about being that person for the next family, or, having the opportunity to tell people like there's a little bit of hope in every dark tunnel. So for me, that's what medicine is, and it is the same. I do really like dermatology now. I'm not gonna lie, it's been tugging at my heart. So I guess I still want to be a doctor. I'm just not 110% sure on where I want to go. Yeah, so
Cool.
pretty
So
sure I'm gonna change 100 times.
But you got a blueprint headed to the right direction of whichever path you end up finalizing.
Yeah.
Real quick, got to do a shout out for CJ's Candy Refreshers. Email is at missologist@yahoo.com. She has been keeping me tight with these flavored margarita drinks that she has in this pouch. She does these drinks. She also does like Jello shots, like anything that you're looking for a party. She'll cater it. You can get them in advance or order, whatever the case is. And I'm telling you, they fire too. Like all BS, they fire. Like I done had a couple for these podcasts. She's been sponsoring them. So shout out to Crystal. We still drinking these. But Kaylon, while we're on the subject of promoting, please talk about the Beauty Assassins Cosmetics.
Oh yeah, so like I said, I'm super into dermatology. And the main reason why I got into dermatology is during undergrad, I actually shadowed with the dermatologist. So I shadowed with the dermatologist for about 3.5, almost 4 years. During my undergrad career, I got super involved in skincare, and then once COVID hit and I could no longer like get into hospitals as much for shadowing, I actually started working with Dominique at Bloom Blue Aesthetics as
Okay.
as an intern there
Shout out to
underneath.
Dominique.
Yep. And her doctor, Dr. Christensen, who's an amazing doctor. I got to shadow him and learn so much. So from there, I worked with a cosmetic chemist and the dermatologist from back home and formulated some of my own skincare products. And I really just wanted to focus on Black skin because I feel like a lot of skincare products that we see in drugstores don't focus on issues that people with melanin have, like hyperpigmentation and melasma and stuff like that. So I wanted to create a skincare line that reached out to people that look like me and fixed their issues. And I feel like your face is your first impression. So I feel super, super important to keep up with it and make sure you're putting your best foot forward at all times. So yeah, the website is down there. So feel free to shop. It's affordable. And yeah, Beauty Assassin Cosmetics. Check me out.
Now, also, since you're already on a roll, what do you do with travel agency?
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So I am also a certified travel agent through Intel Travel. So I am an independent travel agent. I book vacations. I help people and train people on how to become a travel agent. I do have a training course that people can take. And I just have an addiction to traveling, so I figured I might as well figure out a way to make money and save me money because I travel for super cheap now. So yeah, if anyone's ever interested in becoming a travel agent, it's super good income, it's super passive. And for me, while I'm in med school, I don't have time to work a 9 to 5. So for me, it was I needed to find something that will supplement my income but won't take away my time. Because literally all I do is study. I have no life. I literally study all day. So I needed a way to make money that allowed me to keep doing that. So yeah, travel agents.
And I see that you added, one of my former students, Grace, to it.
Yes, I love her so much. She's like my favorite person. She supported my skincare line when I first dropped. She used to come and see me at Bloom Blue Aesthetics all the time. And when she heard about travel agents, she always on vacation anyway. So I'm like, you might as well get paid to do it. Because if you're the friend that book vacations anyway, if you're the friend that plans the itinerary anyway, make that extra income off of it then. Get paid for your time.
Junior,
Yes, sir.
please go into a little bit of detail on what it is that you do. I know me and you have had that conversation and we're planning on continuing that conversation, but talk to me about why it's important too.
No, absolutely. So I do wealth management and just financial planning in general. Why it's very, very important to sit down and talk with an advisor, even as simple as working through a healthy budget and understanding where your money is going, is just overall financial health is very, very important, right? So some people don't understand what a typical budget even is supposed to look like. So I always try to tell people the 60-20-20 rule, and that's more so of 60% of your income should be what you're living your lifestyle on from like a fixed expenses. 20% you should be allocating towards debt, and the other 20% you should be saving. So just basic things of that sort that we should be having the conversations around. And even just to sit down and have a conversation with an advisor, it doesn't really cost you anything, especially for the consultation. Because then from there, you're both able to gauge, does it make sense to continue to working together, or what type of help that you need to help move yourself forward. A lot of times we have the myth in our minds that we don't make enough or have enough money or a pile of money to go and sit down in front of somebody to get that help, which is just not the truth. So anybody can sit down and have the conversation and feel comfortable within their own skin, because everybody's different based on the goals that they're trying to see themselves and their families achieve. So not everybody's the same. So yeah, you could be rich. Some people can be, a little bit in the middle class. It just doesn't matter where you're currently at. Everybody deserves to have the conversation. And we're always here to help sit down and have the conversation with anyone, no matter where you're at, to be able to establish your goals to make sure you can get where you need to go and where you want to go for you and your family. So
cool. So what is the best way for somebody to get in contact with you if they want to start that journey? And
hey,
what does it cost to consult?
So it's free. We sit down with you. You just shoot me a text or a phone call or an email. So my email is juniorcoleman@financialguide.com. Otherwise, you can shoot me a phone call on my office line at 608-828-4391 at any time, or my cell phone, which is 608-212-4571. I'm happy to connect, and we can just really go from there.
And Junior, your what's your email? You said Junior Coleman at what?
Financialguide.com.
Awesome. So I'm going to put that up here as well for anybody that's interested in reaching out to Junior. I'm going to leave this up for a little bit while we just continue to talk. So with some of these business ventures that you guys have, journeyed on as self-employed individuals, what have been some of the struggles that you guys experienced?
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
You can go.
Okay. No, early on when I was first starting out, it's just like with any business, right? Like we always hear from some of the folks that are the closest to us that they're going to support. And when they don't come through, that's that mental game of, dang, am I really going to be successful? So really picking yourself up and having belief in what you're doing and really establishing a good support system around you to continue to propel you forward is very important to your overall success. So just because somebody might not like what you're doing or might not provide up to what their level of skill may be or whatnot, does not mean that your business is a failure by any means, but that you're not able to help every single individual, right? So just keep pushing through it and make sure you keep your eye on your overall goal to be successful in anything that you continue to chase after, especially for your business's focus.
Yeah. For me, I would say it was the business side of things. Like for me, like the skincare was fine. Talking to people was fine, but for me, it was like the setup, the infrastructure of a business, the financial part of a business, the registering my business, and branding, and what did that look like. So for me, it was just like I knew I wanted to start a business, and I knew I wanted it to be skincare, but I didn't know what starting a business looked like, as far as like going about it the right way and not just getting skincare products and being like, hey, I'm selling these, but actually forming an LLC, actually opening a business bank account, building business credit, stuff like that. So that was a lot of stuff that I had to struggle through to figure out how to do it. And then after that, it was about automation. So making it where my business runs without me having to have my hands on everything at all the times. Because one thing about being a business owner is it's tiring. You definitely experience fatigue because especially as a small business owner, you wear all the hats in your business. So for me, it was trying to figure out how I can delegate things and still stay focused with school and, be able to automate my business as much as possible. So it wasn't taking up as much time. So I think that was my biggest struggle. And then realizing that strangers are more supportive than people and tapping into that audience, because for a long time I only promoted to people in Madison, but once I started looking outside of Madison or looking outside of the small box that I was putting myself in, that's when I really got the growth that I wanted.
So with that being said, how important as a business owner, small, large, or whatever the case is, how important is networking?
I think it's super important. And even to expand on networking, I think branding is super important. And just making sure that like your first impression of your business is a good one, because word of mouth is your best friend as a business person. So if you just, a lot of people I feel like rush to start a business because they get an idea and they get excited and they want to get started, but they don't take the time to like nurture that business and properly launch it and get things like labels and all that type of stuff together. They just kind of get this idea and they push it out there and people see it and they're like, it took forever for my stuff to get here, it took this, it took that, and then that word spreads fast, instead of like thinking about the logistics of the business before getting started. So I think networking, branding, and creating something great before you release it to the world is super important.
Junior, what are your thoughts with that?
No, I definitely think that networking is the lifeblood of my overall business on a day to day from just even a branding perspective, because it's not like I'm, putting up billboards or sending out Facebook ads or anything of that sort. It's just more so my current clients and the work that I've done have really then introduced me to other awesome people just because of them being appreciative of what I've done for them to continue to really go out and just carry my brand. So now I'm meeting with people that are all over the nation. That's not even in just Madison, that I'm even hosting an event out in New York in January to be able to continue to attract other individuals. But that's just based off of doing a good job for one of my clients out there that now wants to get me in front of her entire company, to be able to talk with them and some other friends of hers that she feels like would benefit from sitting down and having the conversation. So a lot of times with that networking as well, or even just having events, what I found is that even though someone might want to introduce you, it's very hard to then step out of your shell, especially to talk finances with somebody you may not know, or whatever it is, just to have the conversation at all. But after you go and have a drink with them or something like that and have a conversation, it's easier to then to set up some time to sit down and have a conversation. So I feel like that event in New York too, from just overall a networking and branding perspective, just continues to carry the word, which helps just help me continue to drive the brand forward and continue to help and extend my reach to other individuals too.
So when you guys started having these ideas about these different businesses, like or different ideas, like how long did it take you from the start of the ideas conception to like actually launching and really promoting what you're doing?
For me, the skincare line, that took a while because I'm a really picky person and I tested out all of my products for at least 3 months before I decided to like release them to people. Because for me, it was like, I'm not putting out stuff that don't work just to make money. I really wanted people to see results. I really wanted it to be a quality skincare line. I wanted my labels to be cute. If you bought my skincare line when I first released with those ugly labels, shout out to you because you're a real one. It was not cute when I first released it. But yeah, so for me, that took me about almost a year before I actually dropped my skincare line from when I started formulating and looking at products and giving stuff to my clients and stuff like that while I was at the med spa. So that took me a while. Travel agency, I feel like that was my second business. So I kind of had my feet wet a little bit. So I was a little bit more comfortable moving forward. And it took a little less prep work. I just really had to go through the training, set up a website and stuff like that. So I kind of think it just depends on the business and how comfortable you are.
Junior?
Absolutely. Sorry, what was the question? Is it still off the networking brand?
No. I'm sorry. It's more like on the lines of when you had the idea of the business that you're in.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to kind of formalize a plan or whatever and to launch?
So for like the financial advising side of things, that took probably about 6 months or so. Because what I wanted to do was I wanted to save up a certain amount of money in my savings account before I decided to jump full into a space that was starting a business, from a steady paycheck to now just I'm all on my own. Because at the time, my wife was having our first child, who was going to be 2 months old at the time now when I was decided to start the business. And I just had to, essentially take on that overall stress, but ended up making it work. So now with the Jamaica, Airbnb and housing, that actually took me probably about 3 years now, is from when I've had the idea to now actually going to launch with it, because just wanting to figure out how to purchase property internationally, being able to formulate the proper, LLC and things, as well as making sure that I have a proper bank accounts and things like that to communicate, to be able to make sure everything runs smoothly and the proper people in place so that everything runs smoothly on the ground there. It just took me a little bit more time to be able to launch, but I knew it was always something that I wanted to do. But now to see it finally start to piece together has been really great.
Cool. Now, when you guys ended up, launching and doing those things, did you have money saved for launching, or did you how did you fund the business?
So for me, Part of my planning, and this was because before this business, my little sister had, she has a nonprofit thing that she does. But for me, I build my business credit first, because I didn't want to spend my own money. So I used mostly business credits to start mine. And I started with like Net 30 accounts, a DUNS number, an EIN number, buying small things like diapers off of websites or stuff like that, just to like build that credit up till I got to the point where I could be approved for a business credit card. And then I used that business credit card to buy my first set of inventory. So for me, I was determined to use somebody else's money to fund my business.
Sounds like a recurring theme for you.
And then I use my money more so for marketing and stuff like that. So like Facebook ads or pop-up shops and traveling and stuff like that. So that's what I use my money for. But initially I was like, somebody else paying for this. It's too many grants and business credit that I could be using. I don't need to use my own money.
Fair enough. That's dope. Yeah, so the money that I had was I just saved up a good amount of money that I felt that was comfortable enough for me to get me along for a couple of months until I figured that either I would know if this was the right career to continue to do what I was doing, or if this wasn't the right thing that I was doing. So, and inevitably the money ran out, but believing in myself and the overall business itself, I kept going, and then everything started to click and we started to grow very, very quick. So, it just depends on how you want to launch. So how I liked it was more so for my comfortability. I had a little nest egg that I wanted to build up to a certain point that would make me comfortable to launch and dive into it at that point.
I mean, that's super dope. I got a kind of like a follow-up question too. So with that being said, like so many people doubt their own ability. What's the level of confidence that you guys had or is needed to do this? I know for me, I had a bunch of ideas and it really took me to actually meet someone that was like a doer and just started was like, I have an idea. He was like, man, that's dope. Let's do it. And he was ready to just start rocking and rolling. But when it was just me by myself prior to working with him, shout out to Dante Brown. Um, I I would stop myself as like, oh man, I got this great idea. And then I'd be like, no, that's stupid, and just stop and leave it alone. And so speak to that level of confidence that you either need or like getting rid of that doubt or fear or whatever the case is.
Yeah, for me, and mine was just a fear of failure. And then I had other people believing in me early on that was just super supportive, that I felt like that is all I needed and possess, that was willing to, outwork the next person to be successful. So with just a little confidence that they showed in me, I was like, you know what, I didn't want to let them down. So I was going to make sure that I did and exhausted everything I could to be as successful as possible so that I didn't fail.
For me, I wasn't necessarily confident when I started. For me, it was my why that pushed me into doing it. It was more so the fact that I knew that I was about to go to school, and I took 2 years off after I graduated and worked at Exact Sciences as a biochemical engineer. So for me, it was like I can't go from making good money at Exact Sciences to being a broke college student again. So for me, I was like, I got to find something to supplement this so I can continue to live the way I want to live. So it was more so I had to push myself into being uncomfortable. And I feel like that phase of being uncomfortable, but knowing my why was the reason why I started my business, I launched my business, and I put so much into it because it wasn't just fun and games for me. It was like, this is how I'm going to take care of myself because I can't work in med school. So that's what I always tell people when I do my one-on-one business class is like, what is your why and how bad do you want that? And I think scared, tired, unknowing are all natural feelings for a brand new business. But when your why tugs on your heart hard enough, you're going to jump out there and do it and find a way to make it work.
That's real. And that's super real to the point where like that getting rid of doubt or fear doesn't have an age on it, because
Mhm.
even I realized it was 2 years ago in July when I released my book, and I will never forget sitting at the computer probably about an hour and a half debating on hitting the button that says publish.
Yeah.
I'm talking about literally having it edited, having it read a million times, having it like the structure down to the formatting of the book, having a cover produced, all of that. And literally was like, man, ain't nobody finna buy this. Like, it's me. Like, like, it was just so much doubt. But literally, the last thing that finally was like, just do it, was literally, if I don't, what do I lose? If I do,
Mhm.
what do I lose? Because I self-published, so it was like I didn't come out of pocket for anything. So if I only sold
Mhm.
one copy, it was a success. And so I'm like,
Mhm.
worst case scenario, I'm in the same place that I'm at now, and it didn't cost me anything. So I hit
Yep.
the publish button, and then it kind of like it's taken a leg of its own. It's not a bestseller or anything, but it has allowed me to open up different doors.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think
Awesome.
that's the biggest thing is just realizing that you have so much more to gain and so much less to lose, and just taking that leap of faith and just even when you fail, because like when I first launched my skincare line, it wasn't really a big sellout on my first day. It took a while. I'd probably say about 3 months till I was like generating like a decent amount of income from it. And for me, it was just the fact that like I really loved what I was doing. And I feel like when you do things with a purpose, um, or when it's like personal, because for me, skincare was personal because I didn't always have good skin, so it was personal for me. So when something's personal and you have a purpose for it, I feel like you find that confidence to keep going, even when you have a bad day, even when you're not making money, even when you go a week without sales. Like it's like, all right, this is personal for me, so I'm gonna keep pushing because I'm not ready to give up on this yet.
So, I mean, we talked about it a little earlier before we jumped on, but when did y'all see gains? And how close were you to quitting and kind of giving up on it? Because, I've learned, just in time and research or whatever the case is, most businesses fail within the first 3 years, but you also
Hmm.
don't necessarily see any money in the first 3 years either.
I would say for me, when I really started to see some overall growth and gains and progress was in between my second and third year. And, that was when I was looking to start bringing on my first staff member and things like that to help myself continue to grow and operate at a high level. So, being able to see that and, thinking about somebody else's livelihood in my hands and things like that really also pushed and propelled me to, really tap into my why, as well as that fear of not wanting to let anybody down, to make sure that we were both successful and that we continued to grow in the proper way that we needed to be able to bring on other individuals onto our team so that we can still provide a very high level of service for our clients as well. So I would say about that 2 or 3 year mark was when I started to see that overall growth and gain perspective to really start to operate at a high level.
Yeah. For me, it was a random TikTok. Like, and it wasn't even my TikTok, which is crazy. I had this one client, and I was working with her a lot with helping her with her skin. Our Dominique did a couple of chemical peels on her, and we were just going back and forth. And once I launched my skincare line, she started using it, and her skin got so much better so fast. And I just remember her posting a TikTok like of a before and after picture, and it got like 100,000 views. And after that, my website sold out that day. And I was like, what
Wow.
the? I literally was like, I can't even remember where I was because I wasn't even on my phone. And I came back to my phone and I was just seeing all these little notifications from Shopify. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, you know how people be like, my girlfriend may be mad, so I'm just gonna buy everything on her store, or like I'm gonna book all her appointments for her lashes or something like that. She gonna have to see me. I'm thinking somebody did something crazy. I'm like, who's playing on my website? Um, but yeah, that's where it started for me. And then just from then on, realizing, and that was probably about like 2 to 3 months in, and from then on realizing that my audience was so much bigger than what I was giving myself, because I was really only telling people that were coming to the med spa about my skincare products, and more so because I was just nervous. But after that happened, and after people really started shopping, and I started seeing growth, and then I got the invite to the Grammys, secret room events, and stuff like that. From then on, I just have been.
Wait, we're not gonna just gloss over that. Say where did you get invited? Go ahead and say that again.
I got invited to the Grammy secret room events, which is like a pop-up shop for small businesses, and it's a pre-show for the Grammys. So February 2nd and 3rd, I will be in LA for the Grammys, me and my mom, because I'm bringing her with me. And I got an opportunity
We got a full celebrity on the podcast. All right.
No, but I do get to opportunity to like network with celebrities, give them some skincare products, and sell some of my products there, meet all the nominees and stuff like that. So I'm super excited. But that happened randomly. That was a random person that messaged me because they saw my Instagram and was like, I saw your small business and we thought you would be a great addition. And when I got the email, I'm like, oh, this is a spam. It's one of those little bots. They done got me.
$1 million question. Are they flying you out, or you got to pay your own dime?
So I have to pay my dime to get there. But my hotel and stuff was covered. So I just had to get there, which is nice.
So are you allowed to sell your products, or are you supposed to be promoting, giving it away?
Nope, I get to sell my products. I do have like goodie bags that I'm just bringing, but I do get to sell my products. It is a pop-up shop, so they are for purchase, and stuff like that. So I'm super excited. I literally just booked my flight ticket and my hotel like a couple days ago. So yeah,
that's dope. Congrats. Big time. Marquand said congratulations too. I'm saying it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, that's amazing.
So, which you kind of just jumped and jumped right into it, but I'm sure there's probably more. But my next thing for both of y'all was like, what's next? What's next for you?
Yeah.
So
you can go
ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
She ain't done. Go ahead, Rambo.
You gotta keep rolling. You gotta keep rolling.
Right.
Okay, well, yeah, there's a Grammys event, and then for me, I'm trying to get my products into stores. So I'm working right now with Pink Velvet, which is in the mall, and Chanel, and working on getting some of my products into the mall. I'm also about to start selling on Amazon. I'm looking at Walmart and Target, but the biggest thing about Walmart and Target is like having huge amounts of inventory, obviously. So I might just do like online with Walmart and Target, so that way I can kind of keep things from trying to distribute to a whole bunch of stores, because I'm not there yet. But yeah, so just trying to get my skincare products into stores, and trying to find like grant money and stuff like that to purchase more products and stuff like that. Yep. And yeah, so that's where it's next for me, is just growth and expansion, and then hiring a team, because I am at a place now where I realize I cannot wear all the hats in my business. So yeah, Junior, I'm coming for you. Just know I need a financial advisor real soon.
All right. Good. For me, what's next? 2 parts, so we're always looking for awesome individuals that feel that they're, wanting to take an entrepreneurial jump and, have a understanding and a love for finance. So to be able to sit down, have a conversation with them to see if it's the right fit for them to be brought onto our into our office to continue to promote their growth and work with clients as well. And then for me, for the Jamaica Airbnb trips, is going to be once we get the house established and everything, which should be coming up within a couple months, is then being able to put some things out on the Facebook and advertising for destination trips, traveling and selling some of those travel trips to individuals and start booking it.
Sounds like a little partnership that y'all could be collaborating on too.
Hey, look,
sure.
Everybody to your Airbnb. Just send it to me.
Gotcha.
Let me know.
Oh man, that's super dope. I'm happy for both of y'all. Congratulations on all those endeavors. Before I get to my last question that I want to ask you guys, I did want to just shamelessly kind of plug and promote. December 10th, I'm doing the Determination to Succeed workshop. Setting it up as a conference style this time. That right now I've capped it at 10 individuals or students or people to participate, and still looking for sponsors. I have 7 people already signed up. There's 3 more opportunities for someone to sign up. Sponsorships are at $100, where it's sponsor a student to participate, which includes them getting the 3 hours of content, them getting a book and the wristbands to go along with it. For those that sponsor, I've got something for you as well. And if this is a success, which I know it will be, the goal would be to try and do this once a month, just because I've seen the success that it's having with individuals, young and old. Most people don't know the first place that I ever did this at was at a rehab facility. So it's not just, for the young. I think all of us, all ages, deal with adversity. So I think it's a great opportunity. Hopefully more people will take advantage of it. Also, reach out to me. And if you want to sponsor, or if you want to, be able to only can give 20, 10, 20, 15 or whatever, 50, whatever, let me know. Because I want to continue to expand and grow this and just change the mindsets of people across the area, because I'm definitely going to be expanding to different parts of the country. I've had some contact and conversations with people in Minnesota, California, Texas, and Alabama. So, I'm trying to keep this moving and take this show on the road as well.
That's amazing.
So
yes, much appreciation. So the last thing I wanted to know is just like, if you could, what would you tell your younger self? So that way, any adult or any young person that's watching or listening to this might be something that is going to help them, something that somebody that's older can tell someone younger. And just what is something that you would tell yourself that you think would be the most impactful for you then, and you would benefit from it now?
Man, for me, it's 2 things. 1, believe in yourself and become an entrepreneur quicker. I always wanted to have and make sure that I had autonomy with anything that I did, and what I was doing working in the world of medicine. I wouldn't have changed anything about my experience, but just to be able to build on my brand, build on my business, and to jump into the world of entrepreneurship. I wish I would have done it sooner than I have, but I would have just wanted to believe in myself a little bit quicker to be able to do so and make that jump.
I think something I would have told myself is, just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. I feel like growing up, I've never had a Black doctor growing up. So for me, wanting to be a Black doctor was really scary, because it's like, I never seen a Black person be a doctor. When you walk around UW-Madison, you don't see that many African-American people. So for me, it seemed like my dream was a little bit like overdone, like too much. Yeah. But then I got to Hampton and I seen so many Black people. I graduated in my class alone had like over 250 students that were going to medical school. So just because you don't see it in your everyday life doesn't mean there's not somebody that looks like you doing it. So go out there and do it, find out how to do it, and, reach out to people. Because even if I don't know how to do it, I might be able to help you find someone who does. And that would be my last thing, is open your mouth. Because I feel like I was so scared to ask for help, so scared to say, I don't understand, especially when it comes to school. I used to not ask questions because I don't want to look dumb. But opening your mouth and just asking for help, whether it's for business purposes or school or life, like, the worst somebody can say to you is no, and you can just ask somebody else. So yeah, just open your mouth, ask for help.
Self-advocacy is a skill that you must possess. And piggybacking off of what the other part that you said, I want to share this as a closing thought too. Exposure is key. Exposure is key. Your own. I tell people that individuals are sponges and they're going to pursue what they're exposed to. But if a young person is only exposed to 2 things, those are 2 things that they're going to pursue. But if we don't expose and take advantage of opportunities to expose and share with others, they won't know that it exists. And so the same thing is said, if a young person experiences 2 things, that's what they're going to pursue. What if both of those 2 things that they getting and experiencing at home are both negative? That's what they're going to pursue. So any chance and opportunity you get to share something with a young person that could change their look, their outcome on things, don't be afraid to do it. Talk to them. That you never know. That may change their life and their trajectory.
Yep. And with that being said, I am super like open to talking to anybody. You don't have to know me. If my name's on here, so you can add me on Facebook. If anybody has any questions, whether it's about school, business, whatever, always feel free to reach out. I am not a standoffish person. I want to see everybody win, especially people that look like me. Because there's so many secrets that people keep to themselves when it comes to business, when it comes to bettering yourself. And honestly, when it comes to making money, is what you know. And I just feel like if I didn't know about business credit, if I didn't know about, the financials of a business, like I wouldn't be where I am today. And if somebody hadn't taken the time to show me that and tell me that, like I would never know. So yeah, I'm always here.
Any closing words, Junior?
Hey, no, believe in yourself, and don't be afraid to reach out and make sure that you're always in control of what you got going on, because your personal brand speaks volumes. So making sure that you don't miss out on any opportunity. You always want to be able to say yes to. You want to say no to good things because sometimes you're going to be able to say yes to great things. So just making sure you're cognizant of what decisions you're making early on.
Man, much appreciation for the words. You guys stay on for a hot second after I log this off. And I want to thank everybody that tuned in and listened. Appreciate you guys. And again, as always, I'm still going to try and bring this to you every other week. And with that being said, have a great week and see you later.